Hi everyone, my name is Mo. Welcome to Stretch and Recovery on Friday. Flexibility and stretching exercises, some of them are going to come from yoga and some of them are going to come from the fitness world. So if with some of these exercises you're like, this seems like yoga, just give it a try if yoga is not something that you typically participate in. We're going to start in Child's Pose today, and Child's Pose is a yoga pose or asana, but in the fitness world, it's become a lot more popular because it's a great way to lengthen the spine and to release the lower back. So in Child's Pose, we're going to bring our knees apart and the mounds of our big toes together. We're just going to press the hips back as far as the knees will comfortably let us. So your bottom doesn't have to come all the way to your heels if that's not comfortable. You can be a little bit more forward and still get the benefit. We're going to rest the forearms on the mat, bring the forehead down, and just think about pulling the top of your neck away from the tailbone. And breathe. So again, the center of the forehead is on the mat. We're just going to roll the head half an inch to the left. Come back to the center, roll half an inch to the right. Let's do that a couple more times. And that's just going to relieve any tension that we might have built up in the forehead. And come back to the center. Take one more full breath in, exhale out, and then come up on all fours. Hands are underneath your shoulders and knees are underneath your hips. We're going to go through a couple of cat-cows. So we start in neutral tabletop. Pull your belly button in, round the shoulders, tuck the tailbone under, drop the crown of your head. This is a cat stretch. Now inhale, release to cow. We're lifting the chest. Exhale, cat stretch. Round the back, tuck the tailbone under. Let's do it one more time. Inhale, release to cow. Exhale, pull up in a cat stretch. Come back to a neutral tabletop. Now inhale, stretch your left arm out to the side. Exhale, weave the left arm underneath your body. My left palm is up and I'm bringing the left side of my head down on the mat. Then take your right hand and walk your fingertips up toward the top of the mat, coming to spider tip fingers. And here you're going to feel the stretch along the right side body and the outside of the left shoulder. Maybe you can even take your right hand a little over toward the left and get even a deeper stretch. Take one more breath here and release. We'll switch sides. Inhale, stretch the right arm out to the side. Exhale, thread the needle the other way. So now the right side of your head is down. Walk your left fingertips up to the top of the mat. Come to spider tip fingers. Elbow is extended. Press your right shoulder toward the mat. It doesn't have to touch. Take one more breath and release. Shift your weight over to the right. Stop when you feel a stretch across the right hip. Just hold here for a moment. Come back to the center and switch. Shift your weight over to the left. Come back to the center. We're going to do hip circles. So I want you to shift your weight to the right. Come forward onto your right hand, over to the left hand, back on the left knee. And circle again. Reverse. Come back to the center. Inhale, curl your toes under. Exhale, hold. Just press your toes, the bottoms of your toes, down into your mat. Take another inhale, and now exhale, press back, downward facing dog. Maybe you bring your hands up a little farther or step your feet back a little farther. Head is between the arms, and I want you to soften your knees. So your knees aren't going to be locked out. And I want you to drop your heels a little closer to the mat so that you feel this stretch all the way down the backs of your legs. Now I want you to walk your dog out, slowly bending into one knee and dropping the other heel. And you should feel this stretch in your calves and in your hamstrings. And now hold. Step your feet a little closer, come up on your toes, and now drop your heels to the right. Now I'm feeling a stretch in my left side body. Come back to the center, drop your heels to the left, and now the stretch is in the right side body. Come back to the center, drop the heels down closer to the earth. Walk your hands back to your toes. Keep your fingertips down for just a moment. So if your hamstrings are tight, you might look like this, and that's fine. Bring your feet hip distance apart. Grab opposite elbows, inhale. Exhale, hang in ragdoll. Now, if this is too much on your lower back, a couple of things you can do. One, pull the belly button in and make sure you've got your core engaged. Or number two, bring your hands, your forearms to your shins. Bring your hands together. Drop your head, and we're right here. Still lengthening the spine. And release. Toe heel your feet together. Roll up one vertebra at a time. Come all the way up and roll your shoulders back. And now take your arms up. Take your right hand, grab your left wrist, and pull over to the side. Come back to the center. Inhale and exhale, switch. Come back to the center, bring your arms down by your sides. Now inhale, tuck your chin, roll down one vertebra at a time. Come all the way down so that your fingertips touch. And again, if your hamstrings are tight, you might look like this, and that's fine. Now we're going to walk out all the way to high plank. Pause here, and then press back to downward facing dog. Pull your shoulders away from your ears, soften your knees. Lift your right leg up high. Hold. Now, step your right foot up in between your hands. Now I'm in a runner's lunge. The right knee should be in alignment with the ankle. I'm stretching through the left heel. My left heel is up, and then I drop my hips a little lower, lifting the chest. And where we really want to feel this stretch is in the left hip flexors. Plant your left hand next to your right foot and twist. Right arm comes up. Bring the hand back down. Step back. Come to high plank. Press your heels back. Downward facing dog. Lift your left leg up. High. Stretch, stretch, stretch. Take a breath. And then step the left foot through runner's lunge. Make sure your left knee is in alignment with the ankle. You might have to scoot your right foot back a little bit, pressing your hips down, lifting the chest forward. Right hand plants, left arm comes up for a twist. Bring the left hand down, step back, high plank, downward facing dog. Walk your hands back to your toes. Fingertips down, pause, and roll up one vertebra at a time and roll your shoulders back. Step your right foot forward for a calf stretch. So now right knee is in alignment with the ankle. My left toes are at 12 o'clock. And I want to feel this stretch from the belly of the calf going all the way up behind the knee. If you don't feel it there, it could be because your toes are turned out a little bit toward the left. You want to turn the toes forward. Now bring your hands around to the small of your back, interlace your fingers, do a big shoulder roll back. See if you can even lift your arms up a little bit away from your back. And release. We're going to switch sides. So now left foot forward, right foot back. Make sure your right toes are at 12 o'clock. We're bending into the left knee. The knee is in alignment with the ankle. Square your hips. Bring your hands around to the small of your back. Interlace your fingers. Let's roll the shoulders back. And release. Step to the back of your mat. Take a deep breath in. Arms down by your sides. Roll down. Tuck your chin. Roll down one vertebra at a time. Fingertips down. Drop your head. Look at your knees. Walk out. All the way to high plank. Now lower all the way down to the mat. Lay the tops of your feet down. Rest your forehead. And I want you to press the tops of your feet into the mat. And you should feel a gentle stretch through your shins. Bring your arms around so that your elbows are underneath your shoulders. We're going to lift the chest in a Sphinx pose. And now I want you to lift and lengthen the abdomen. Pull the bottom of your ribs up away from your hips. So we're stretching the abdominal wall. And release. All right, I'm going to have you guys roll over onto your backs. And we're going to start by pulling both knees into the chest, wrapping the arms around the shins, giving yourself a squeeze. Stretch the left leg out, right knee is pulled in. Now I want you to circle your ankle. Go the other way. Hold. Take your left hand on the outside of the right knee. Pull the knee across in a supine twist. Right arm goes out like a T. And now roll the right shoulder back and toward the mat. Don't have to have the shoulder touching the mat, but press it down that way. And now see if your left leg is fully extended. Take a full breath in, and as you exhale, come back to the center. Bend your left knee a little bit and stretch the right leg up. Hands behind either the thigh, the calf, or the ankle, just not right behind the knee. And I want you to straighten the knee. So It's more important to straighten the knee than it is to pull the leg over your face, because by fully extending the knee, we're lengthening the hamstrings. And then if you have more flexibility and you want to stretch the left leg out on the mat, you can do that too. Take one more breath. And now we're going to bend both knees, and I'm going to have you cross your right ankle over the top of the left thigh. Take your right hand and push the right knee away. And hopefully you're feeling a stretch in your right hip. If you can stretch farther, I'm going to have you lift your left foot, hands come behind the thigh, or maybe even up on the shin. And we're going to pull that left thigh in. And see if you can take your right elbow and push the right knee away from your shoulder. Take one more breath and release. Let's stretch the right leg out on the mat, pulling the left knee into the chest, circle the ankle. And now go the other way. Bend the right knee a little bit, stretch the left leg up. Hands behind the thigh, calf or ankle, gently pull in. Maybe you stretch the right leg back out on the mat. Take one more breath. Then bend both knees. Cross your left ankle over the top of your right thigh. Take your left hand and press the knee away from your shoulder. You can stay right here, or for a deeper stretch, lift your right foot, hands behind the thigh or up on the shin. Maybe you take your left elbow and press the knee away. And release. Bring your knees and your feet together. Drop your knees open in a reclined butterfly stretch. So the soles of my feet are together. Pull your belly button in, press your lower back down, and place your hands on your thighs. Gently press. Lift back up. Go ahead and roll onto your right side, knees bent, and we're going to take our right arm out, straight out in front, left hand on top. Lift your left arm, start rotating, lifting your chest to face the ceiling. See how far back you can go with that left hand, trying to bring the left hand on the floor or your mat, and then see if you can press the shoulder blade a little closer to the mat. And release. Let's do it one more time. Take the arm up and bring it back. Try to turn your chest to face the ceiling. And release. Bring the right arm overhead and rest your head on your arm. Straighten your legs out. So now my body's in a straight line. I'm going to have you bend your left knee and reach around for your heel or maybe your ankle. Bring your knee back down so that your knees are almost touching. Now, press your hips forward. You might already feel a stretch in the front of your left thigh through your quadriceps. If not, maybe you pull the thigh back a little bit. Stop when you feel a strong stretch. If you feel any burning, you're going too far, but it might be a little uncomfortable, especially if your quadriceps are tight. Take one more breath and release. Go ahead and roll onto your other side. let's start with the knees bent. And we're going to take the arms straight out in front, right hand on top of the left. And now lift your right arm up, rotate, bringing the back of your hand down, chest coming up to face the ceiling. Maybe your right shoulder comes down closer to the floor. Take a breath, and then we'll come all the way back and do it again. Take the arm up, rotate, bringing the back of your hand down. Maybe you're able to bring the shoulder a little closer to the mat this time. And release. Bring the left arm overhead, stretch the legs out, pressing your hips forward, and I'm going to have you bend your right knee. Reach around for your ankle or your heel, and now bring your knees so they're almost touching. And again, you might feel a good quadricep stretch right here. If not, pull the thigh back a little farther. You don't have to bend the knee farther. In fact, you want there to be some space between your heel and your bottom. But bring the thigh back a little bit more. We want to feel the stretch through the quadriceps and all the way up into the hip flexors, which is why we're pressing the hips forward. Take one more breath and release. Push yourself up using your hands. And now let's stretch our legs out in front of us. Staff pose. Bring the mounds of your big toes together, hands at your sides. And now we're going to sit up tall so the body's in the shape of an L. Now, inhale, take your arms up. Soften your knees. Exhale, try to reach out past your toes. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold over your legs. And release. Bend your right knee. We're going to take the right foot and cross it over the left thigh. Take your right hand and reach behind you on your mat. And now we're going to hook the left elbow around the knee and rest the forearm on the thigh. Flex your left foot, sit up tall, making the spine long, and then twist. Rolling the right shoulder back. Turning your chest to face sideways, and then maybe you turn your head, bringing your chin over your shoulder to stretch your neck. Take a breath here, and release. Bend your left knee. Take the left foot over the right leg. Left hand comes behind. We're flexing the right foot. And I'm going to have you hook your elbow around the knee, resting the forearm on the thigh. Sit up tall and twist. Maybe you turn your head, chin over the shoulder, flexing the right foot. Deep breath in and release. Bring the soles of your feet together in a seated butterfly. Soles of your feet together. Hands are holding either the lower legs around your ankles or mid-feet. We're going to sit up tall. So I'm lengthening my spine again. Inhale. Exhale, press the thighs down as far as you can. And now maybe you hinge and try to bring your belly button forward. Breathe. And release. All right, legs stretched out in front of you. This next exercise is to stretch across the lower, mid, and upper back. So feet hip distance apart, arms are out in front of you, and we're going to start by inhaling and sitting up as tall as we can. Exhale as you round the lower back, round the mid back, upper back. Drop the head between your arms. Reach forward 1 inch. And now roll all the way back up. Inhale. Exhale. Pull your belly button in as you round lower, mid, upper back. Drop your head. Reach forward 1 inch. And now roll up. We're going to do it one more time. Inhale. Exhale. Lower back, mid back, upper back. Reach forward 1 inch. And now come all the way back up and release. Go ahead and cross your legs. Hands on the outside of your knees. Inhale, sit up tall. Exhale, round and release off the tailbone onto the sits bone. Pull your shoulders down, tuck your chin. And I want to be hollowed out in front, pressing the lower back behind me and slightly downward. Take one more breath and release. Take your right arm up, bend your elbow, reaching for the center of your back, and then the left hand is on the right elbow. Sit up tall and hold, stretching our triceps. And switch. Take your arms out like a T. Rotate thumbs down. Stretching through the biceps. Take your left hand on the mat, right arm comes up. Now bend the left elbow as we bring the right arm over the ear. And we'll switch. Right hand down, left arm up. Inhale, exhale, bend that right elbow. Left arm comes over the ear. And release. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, twist. Take your right hand to the outside of the left knee. And the left hand reaches behind, sitting up tall. And maybe again you turn your head, bringing your chin over your shoulder. Stretching across the back, the obliques, the neck, and release. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, twist the other way. And release. Take your wrists and circle. Go 4 times in one direction, and then reverse. We're going to come up to a squat position. Place your hands just in front of your toes. We're going to inhale. As you exhale, extend your legs as much as you can, keeping your fingertips down. Drop the crown of your head and your nose toward your knees. Now bend your right knee. Place your left hand down and twist. Right arm up. And release. Let's switch. And release. Roll up, one vertebra at a time. Roll your shoulders back. Take one more deep breath in, full body stretch, lengthen the spine. And exhale. Great job today. Thanks for joining. Feel free to go through this stretch and recovery sequence after any of the workouts that you participate on through the YouTube channel. Again, my name's Mo, and I'll see you next time.